Madam Chairman and members of the committee, my name is David Cleavinger, and I am a wheat grower from Wildorado, Texas. I currently serve as the president of the National Association of Wheat Growers, and I'm very pleased to be here today to discuss an issue of great importance to the wheat growers that I represent. Wheat growers know that an effective railroad system is necessary for the success of the wheat industry. By and large, wheat country is centered away from our waterways and ocean ports, leaving us primarily dependent on railroads to move our products to waterway terminals and export facilities. As the GAO found in a recent study, rates in captive areas can well be above the threshold of reasonableness established under the law and utilized by the Surface Transportation Board. Full operating costs to most railroads are at about 100 to 140% of variable cost. Rates in excess of 180% are considered above the threshold of unreasonableness by the STB and are therefore challengeable. In some captive wheat growing areas, the rates have run as high as 300 to 400% of variable cost. Farmers are not in a position to pass their freight cost along to consumers. In fact, we pay freight on fertilizer and other supplies that we purchase and pay freight on the wheat that we ship out. Further complicating our position, these farmers are not the actual customers of the railroads that haul their grain. The grain companies buy the producer's wheat and other grains and order the freight from the railroad, passing the cost directly to the farmer. This is an important point because most of the rights to appeal to the Surface Transportation Board are granted to the actual rail customers, which are the grain companies. NAWG and other agriculture industry leaders have requested oversight by the Surface Transportation Board, as we believe it is in with their charter to do so, but very little progress has been made. The STB's proposed new revisions to simplify guidelines are highly restrictive and would make challenging unreasonable rates virtually impossible for all but a few facilities shipping small volumes of grain. This frustration with a lack of regulatory oversight has led us to help develop and support, together with other captive shippers, including the Alliance for Rail Competition, legislation that would strengthen the rules of the game for growers. We believe parts of H.R. 2125 and Senate Bill 953 would put us in a position to be treated as a customer should be treated. H.R. 2125 contains language addressing areas of inadequate competition, the common carrier obligation, bottlenecks, and terminal access. It would also develop a system of arbitration of rate and service issues. While we support these bills, we also know that these issues will take time to move through the congressional process. So paying heed to the old saying, if you are not at the table, then you are on the menu, we have begun a process of problem resolution with one of the 4 major Class I railroads. Corn, soy, and wheat growers and other interests, along with representatives from BNSF Railways, have formed the Ag Business Rail Council. Our first meeting was in February, and I will have to say we were treated like customers rather than a third party who has been picking up the freight. The agenda included discussion of rail car allocation, harvest congestion, differential pricing, revenue to variable cost ratios, and what constitutes a reasonable freight rate. Some of these topics will require considerable homework on our part, but we are determined to find solutions for our growers. This is a forum to educate the railroad about the needs of producers. It will also enhance our understanding of the rail freight business with the ultimate goal of finding mutual beneficial solutions. Wheat industry leaders have been working on rail and rate and service issues for over 30 years. We believe the complexity of this issue has been a deterrent for many of the parties, including Congress. It would be easy to throw in the towel and say we're tired of messing with this, but we can't do that. Opportunities exist to increase service to American agriculture, such as the new STB accountability, H.R. 2125, and coalitions like the Ag Rail Business Council. We understand that new railroads are not going to be built, so competition in that sense is unrealistic. What we can accomplish is accountability on all sides to find good service at reasonable rates. Madam Chairman, thank you again for allowing me to be here today, and I'm eager to answer any questions that you have.